What's up, everybody? We're here right on time, as always.
Every time.
Every time. Hoping you guys are doing well. We already got a question here.
Oh.
Hey, boys, we'll be starting the Shucked Oyster next week, I assume. Yeah, next week. Can you tell me about the region in Bloodmore it's in, so I don't set up a bunch of contradictions later in my campaign? Next week, I mean. I have players using a map of the old, supposedly extinct cult's various holy sites to find the Paw of Malchimpus. That's basically the way I'm getting them involved. Any suggestions? Yeah, so this is a dark and spooky Romanian, Transylvanian land.
If you go with that atmosphere,
country, the country of Bloodmore itself, which is, I believe, geographically based off of Romania.
Literally, yes.
Literally. We used Eastern Europe as the map. And it's kind of Vlad the Impaler / what do we say? Like Holy Roman Empire sort of stuff.
You know what to do.
Yeah, you know what to do. Go with, think the opening scene of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Yes.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah. That's the vibe, and you'll be fine.
Yep. But before we proceed with any other questions or comments, we have this week, as we do every week, a giveaway. And today we are giving away Dresden Files Accelerated. This is a this combines everything in, I think there were 3 books for the initial Dresden Files game. This is for Fate or Fate Accelerated. This has everything you need to run a Dresden Files game. Has GM advice, setting stuff, obviously rules, mechanics, and all that other good stuff. So if you like the Dresden Files, if you want to get those spooks, those creeps, those things, if
this
you want
is the
that
way to do it.
Urban fantasy.
Yeah. As usual, we ship within the U.S. only.
Yes.
The last 2 books, I did get everyone's addresses.
Good.
I didn't send them out yet, so I will send those out tomorrow, and I'll give you guys the tracking numbers and whatnot.
Perfect.
But they will go out. Usually, the problem is people don't give me their address. This time, I got the addresses, and it was my bad. Anyway, we got Better with Bacon here.
What's up, man?
Final prediction, not good, probably. Not sure.
We have a number of
we have a number of
We'll
thoughts.
get into it.
Do you think Vindu will make Cain a gay trans Muslim who's portrayed as right as a way to thumb their nose at Christianity? I wouldn't put it past him.
Do you think Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will make Cain a gay trans Muslim who's portrayed as right as a way to thumb their nose at Christianity? I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't think they'll even mention Cain.
I don't think Cain will be in it. I don't think the meta plot is going to factor in any major way. And the whole game is thumbing its nose at Christianity, like Vampire.
Right.
It's sad. So they don't need to do that to do that. But we have a whole lot of thoughts on that. And I don't know. Not good probably. I don't think so. I think it's going to be like Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And we will get into that. They reversed course on the day 1 DLC at least. The fact they were going to paywall La Sombra and Toreador is a terrible sign. Very irritating, but people chimped and it worked.
Always be chimping.
It will be stinky in a very much a bad way. Voiced protagonist wouldn't be such an issue if there were actual dialogue choices. I don't know. We were watching a playthrough of the first 30 minutes or so.
It seems like there are dialogue choices.
Seems like there's going to be a lot of dialogue.
Now, of course, this is the rhythm of any kind of dialogue.
They're thumbing their nose limp-wristedly, I mean.
They're thumbing their nose.
I mean, they are doing that. That is true. There's a kind of repetitive rhythm, and there's a kind of pacing that we've all come to expect, for better and for worse, with over 10 years at this point of fully voiced dialogue.
Yeah.
Right? I I don't like it. I don't have a particular problem with what I've heard of the protagonist's voice acting per se.
Yeah.
I can't stand the voice in your head.
Yeah. Fabian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like there is a... Yeah.
And you were...
There's a critical role character in your head.
Which is the worst fate imaginable.
Yeah. I even asked at one point we were watching this, I was like, did Mercer do that voice? And it turned out it's not him, but it sounds like a voice he could have done easily.
Right. And a character he would have portrayed.
Right. To be honest, the more I hear about it, the more it looks like another Prey situation. Yeah, people are describing the gameplay as being sort of an immersive sim, like either BioShock or Prey, and also mixed kind of with Dishonored with like the movement. Mm-hmm. Like the Toreador has an actual blink power, which if they don't call that celerity, it will
be called blink.
Yeah. Or if they don't tie it to celerity, well, who gives a shit? Anyway,
it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't fucking matter. And here's the thing. I like those kinds of games. So that could be good, could be bad. Who knows? I am almost positive the combat will be better. There's no way it could be.
It can't be worse than Bloodlines 1.
But yeah.
In Bloodlines 2, combat is going to be...
front and center.
Yeah, that's going to be the point.
A decent game that would fare far better under a different name. I don't know.
Which Prey.
Yeah, well,
I never
but also Bloodlines. I think people like there's a bunch of people out there that are saying this isn't a role-playing game, from what it looks like. And I'm like, I don't even know what you mean by role-playing game in the context of a computer game at this point.
Every video game at this point has elements of RPG in it.
They're like, so other than
I don't know what you mean.
The little bit of skill progression in it, and
sure,
but it doesn't look like there's going to be as much dialogue choices, and I don't think that's true. It looks very dialogue heavy.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be more combat focused.
Right. So I don't know what people are expecting in that regard.
And it's not I don't think it's a problem with the Bloodlines name.
I don't think so either.
Because even if you didn't call this game Bloodlines 2, but you told me there's going to be a Vampire the Masquerade video game, it's not going to be called Bloodlines. I don't really care. I want a certain type of game.
Yeah. And also,
regardless of the name.
It would make no sense not to call it Bloodlines because you're putting in a ton of financial resources and you need people to remember it and to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what people are expecting.
For that. And I wouldn't even blame them for having the gameplay be significantly different. It's not that change that I have a problem with.
Right. And I don't know who would want the gameplay to be like the gameplay from Bloodlines 1.
Yeah.
There's no situation in which you were going to have a game that was reminiscent of Bloodlines 1 because it was
you can't
dog shit and janky even at the time,
right? And
no matter what, it's going to be different than that.
The game itself was not good. The story and the characters were very good, and that's why people remember it.
Walking around and talking to these characters and experiencing that world. And if that's what you want out of a vampire game, they're probably going to do it here. Like, I don't want, like, the last thing I would want would be continuity of storyline between Bloodlines.
Yeah, we do not need to go back to Santa Monica
and
again.
We don't need to revisit the Final Nights and the Time of Judgment.
Right.
Like, and people forget Bloodlines was a part of a giant transmedia project across all of the World of Darkness games. This was the end of the world. It was an apocalyptic scenario, and that was part of the Time of Judgment project. And there's no way to return to that because the world was supposed to end.
Right.
And I'm sure there's going to be some little tie-ins or whatever, references to Santa Monica. Who fucking cares? Who cares?
I want a different game with a different story.
With different characters, and I want it to be Vampire the Masquerade.
Right.
That's what I want. And the story and the characters in Bloodlines was very, very strong. And if they can do that here, which very much remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Then it will be a worthy successor. I don't think they will.
I don't think they're going to be able to pull that off.
No.
Part of it is
they won't be able to help themselves.
They will not be able to help themselves. They don't really know what Vampire is, and this is also a problem with just V5, which is the current iteration of the game.
Yeah.
The tabletop game doesn't really know what it wants to be either.
Right.
And that's a larger problem. But
right.
You had a point, and I think it's largely correct that in a certain sense, Bloodlines 2 will be an accurate portrayal of what most V5 games
are. Yeah. Something like VTM Ashes of Time or Seattle Secrets, that wouldn't sell copies.
No.
Like
the problem is not in the name.
Yeah, the problem's not in the name, and also it's just you have to understand that like making games is business. And that would be just a very bad business decision. Because there would also be people that would be like, why didn't you call this Bloodlines 2? This feels sort of like Bloodlines. Like it's different, but it's still the same spirit. Like that would be the response.
Right.
Looks like a Telltale game with less choices, but more combat right now.
I don't think that's true. I think that's too far.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of this is I don't think Paradox knows how to market this game. They don't know.
They haven't really known how to market.
They haven't known how to market the tabletop game. Yeah, and this is like we were watching that 30, 40 minute gameplay thing.
Yeah.
And one of the versions that we watched was somebody really sitting there and going back and forth and talking to Fabian at the Malkavian in the head. And I think that's going to be a big part of the game. From what I understand, it's fairly linear for the first couple of hours until you like introduce yourself to the prince, whatever, and then this kind of hub opens up to you. I don't know. It's
we're not going to know.
We're not going to know until it's out.
I don't have a.
I'm going in, but I will say both of us are going. We have some strong predictions.
Yes.
That I think we'll be probably right about. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we are going into this game with an open mind, and I would like it to be good.
Of course.
I want it to be good.
And if it is, we will say that.
And we will.
I think the fact they fired Brian Mitsoda, the guy who wrote Bloodlines, makes me worry of Bloodlines 2. I bet it will be far inferior without him.
Yeah, except that
it sounded really bad. What they originally went with.
Yeah, and it also, you just don't know. That game might have been shit. Like they don't.
It might have been shit, and also
they just don't cancel big video games for no reason.
We've been burned many times over the last 10 years with supposedly darling writers or darling game developers who used to make awesome shit.
We watched an interview, or I read an interview with Mitsoda. No, I was watching an old promo video, I think, and they were talking about how he was the lead dialogue reader and or writer, and that was essentially what he was doing in this. He was not the project lead on the game, but they asked him to kind of be the face of it because it was going to provide continuity for people, and he wanted to basically, his goal was, and I think it was a worthy goal, make Bloodlines again, but better. And he goes on and talks about the ways in which they're doing that, and then saying that the last thing that we want to do is make another male power fantasy. And then I was like, ooh,
and this would have been
maybe we dodged a bullet on that one.
This interview would have been from like
Years
what,
ago.
2019, like pre-COVID,
like that.
right?
Yeah.
So during the height of it.
Yeah. It's funny because Telltale Games already had effectively 0 choices. Yeah, those were fun games though. At least I've only played one, and that was the Walking Dead Part 1. And I liked that game. And I know it doesn't have your choices don't matter all that much. Actually, I played the first couple episodes. Maybe I beat that whole first season. I might have. I liked those games. They were pretty cool. I wonder if people will like this game as a legit vampire game. Maybe it counts.
We'll see. It's going to come down to the story and the characters, just like Bloodlines 1. Because again, I don't immediately have a problem with the change in gameplay, because the gameplay is what mattered the least to me in Bloodlines 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Bloodlines 2 canned the first time because the first studio was run like a complete shit show. That's what I heard.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the thing is, they were hitting massive delays, just like Bloodlines 1 was. I think it's been
a mess from the beginning.
It's been a mess from the beginning.
Yeah. So we will see.
Howdy, y'all. How's it going? The Van is here.
What's up?
I guess maybe they didn't. Only I watched a bit of The Walking Dead on YouTube, maybe a while back whenever it came out. They did a reasonably good job of making it look like you had choices, and most people didn't play through them multiple times to test that. Yeah. This apparently has multiple endings. I think it's going to be fairly linear. We'll hold the predictions for a bit. Those who did, however, discover the story of those games was very much on rails. Yeah. Also, the choices might be inspired/lifted from Dishonored, where being stealthy will change the trajectory of a mission compared to being a Splatterpunk's wet dream. Yeah.
Yep. And it's sort of unclear if there's if and how emphasized a humanity mechanic.
I think there's not even a humanity.
My guess is that's not going to be the case. If there was, I would imagine it would be similar to the Dishonored thing, where you get good boy points for doing stealth takedowns and bad boy points for killing people.
Right.
And that would really be the extent of it.
Yeah. How's it going, Dungeon of Terror? Good to see you. Their Guardians of the Galaxy game was pretty good, to be honest, but that was one of their later games, which was their own take on a Guardian setting.
Never played it.
Never played it. Didn't Telltale do a vampire game?
I have no idea.
I think they did. The lads haven't done a VTM theme for a while. Should be interesting, yeah. Compared to the rest, which are pretty much locked to not have great impact within another IP. Yeah, okay, so here's the other thing is we are going to do a full playthrough recording of Bloodlines.
Yes.
And we're going to do a massive, Bloodlines 2, rather. We'll do a Bloodlines 1 video someday as well. But the Bloodlines 2 video, we want to have the most comprehensive tabletop/video game review and go deep on it, because we're going to have a much better perspective than every other moron out there. Guarantee you that talks about this game and about the story and the lore and all of that shit. And we're going to have the meaty good take. And I hope it's good. I want it to be good. The question is, will the game have a Creed playlist rather than whatever angsty, edgy playlist they thought of first?
We don't know.
As far as I'm concerned, the Telltale games were essentially fancy visual novels. Yeah, which is cool if that's your thing, but I prefer to play an actual game. Yeah. I don't actually know much about the band beyond hearing them on the radio talking about Creed a few times, so take my words with the appropriate quantum of sodium chloride. Creed is more like bored dad music, less alt-rock. Yeah. Here's a proper prediction. The cool characters that really evoke the VTM feel of yesteryear will be the bad guys that we can't side with, like the Prince's sire.
I don't even know if that's the case. I don't think there's going to be anybody in Bloodlines 2 that evokes old VTM.
Nope. And
even if they include, I remember there was some promo, maybe from a previous iteration of a game, maybe she was unlocked as like a pre-order bonus or something, that Damsel might show up, the Anarch chick from Bloodlines 1 with the Kami beret.
Yeah. I know there's at least one Anarch bar you can go to.
Yeah.
I've honestly only heard The Last Breath and Arms Wide Open. Yeah. Will the main villain be like in Mass Effect? Probably not.
I don't think so. I would not predict that.
The lad, yeah. Holy Roman Empire, Eastern Europe. Okay, exactly. How's it going, Malachi?
What's up, everybody?
What the fuck? You started early?
Nope.
No, we started on time.
Right on time.
You guys
gotta set your clocks to the start of the stream.
Exactly. Dresden Files are great books. Butcher is rad. Finally bought the Shucked Oyster. Haven't peeped the PDF yet. Excited to get the book, though. Looking forward to reading it.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
La Sombra should be paywalled. Kane, they will go straight to Lilith. Oh, man. That would
I don't
suck.
think they'll do
I
that.
don't think they'll do that. We were, until we, watched this video carefully, we were like, how much of an elder are you going to be? Are you Methuselah? Are you an antediluvian? Like, what are we...
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about here?
But the answer, again, unless they do a double plus switcheroo, we get... the protagonist is like 400 years old or something.
Ooh, okay, so we're going to get to this as well. Those trailers look like they just released, just look lame and gay. Everything looks shiny and edgy and not in a World of Darkness edgy manner. Okay, we will get to that. I watched Escape from LA yesterday. Didn't realize it was a documentary. Yeah. Can we pour out a LaCroix sparkling water for Max stepping back from his channel? I just saw a future of the channel video. I hope Mr. Max is not stepping back entirely.
I hope not. He's in the chat.
I saw it right before we started the stream is what I'm saying.
I did not see this. Max, you should not do that.
Yeah, the dystopian LA in the movies is so much better than modern LA. So long as Bloodlines 2 keeps the Christina Hendricks lady from the trailer, it's a 7 out of 10 minimum. I disagree.
Also, the fact that her name is Lou.
A fucking chunky goth mommy. She's, as Kolchak would say, she's fat.
She's fat. Could lose some weight.
She could lose some weight. I want skinny, hot goth chicks. What the fuck is wrong with you people? How hard is this? How hard could it possibly be?
Yeah. That Resident Evil game ruined a lot of people.
Oh, God, I know. The game will be woke trash.
That is possible.
Some might even say probable. What we don't know yet. I wouldn't wish the punishment of a critical role character being in the head of my worst enemy.
It's bad.
It's bad, yeah.
I will be trying to get rid of him however I can.
Mercer mostly speaks in his own voice, which is super nondescript, so it's easy to mistake bland performance for one of his.
Yeah, he has...
I don't know about that. I know he voices tons of characters, and they don't all sound like him.
Well, he has the perfect like male voice resonance for doing most or many different types of voices.
I say what you want about Mercer, but I think he's probably pretty good at being a voice actor.
Sure.
Yeah. We can crack open the good stuff when he starts posting about his game develop ideas in progress.
Who's this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Escape from LA was made in 96. Just need to fast forward 30 years and it's on track. Yeah. By the way, have you guys seen the controversial piece of art Dungeons and Dragons just posted on X? Looks goofy as shit.
I've seen it.
It's bad.
But again, who cares? Is this shocking? Is this unexpected to you or to anybody?
It's just very, very bad.
It's not even...
There's nothing we can do about it.
It's just slop.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. It will never not be slop.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is.
Yeah. The closest a video game has been to a real role-playing game is Mountain Blade Warband, which I should play in
I've
that
never
case.
played Mountain Blade, but people speak highly of it.
People need to lower their standards. With the industry as it is, you're not going to get RPGs like New Vegas or VTM Bloodlines 1.
I mean, that's from a AAA... Well, I guess this isn't really a AAA game studio at all, but any kind of franchise game or AAA game has an exceedingly low
At least
chance.
Sandy Peterson is pretty based.
Yeah, I like Sandy Peterson. He's a boomer, so he has some boomer takes, but I like Sandy.
Yeah. Sadly, Mormon.
I don't care what religion he is.
I do.
I know. But I like Sandy Peterson.
I do as well.
We were mocking it over on the Diversity in Dragon stream. Yeah, the art. What is controversial art? Basic expert might argue it is best to stick with the original Bloodlines mechanics and gameplay.
I mean, he might argue that.
He might. I don't know.
I don't know what his thoughts are on Bloodlines, but...
Yeah, I don't think he has ever played Vampire either. No one ever needs to go back to Santa Monica. That is
True.
fucking true. Yeah. What about Fat Larry with an FAT?
FAT, because I know I have a weight problem. Yeah.
Better include my main man, Maximilian Strauss. Actually, never mind. They'll ruin him.
Yeah, I don't want to see any of the characters. I don't want them to dig them up.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, just make new characters. I believe what people refer to when they say a role-playing game in the context of a video game is multiple consequential choices. Yeah. I would agree, but almost nothing fits that definition.
Yeah. I think people, there is a value in having consequential choices.
Yeah. That was why I loved The Witcher 1 and 2.
But I do think people overinflate the importance of, consequential choices.
I'm really intrigued about the Americana game. Great video.
Thank you.
You can set it from Vegas, New England, Pacific Northwest, or the Deep South.
That is correct.
Yes.
I almost said correct and true at the same time. Carew. That is Carew. That is correct.
Indeed it is.
Yeah, over on the locals, we started talking about Americana Dream. In our bi-weekly live stream. Yeah.
The core mechanic.
You too can, in which games we're kind of mashing together in terms of our rule set. You too can see this video and over on the locals with promo code FREN, FREN. The link is in the description.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be very, very cool. We were very excited about it.
Yeah, and for Bloodlines 2, I will not necessarily be upset if the game is very linear. There are many games which are very linear.
I don't have a
which are very good. I don't have a problem with this. And actually, to me, the more you talk about open world stuff, the more of a red flag it is to me.
Yeah.
Open world sucks. It's not a bad video game if it tells a straightforward story. Now, if you're going to give me like different endings, I want them to not be arbitrarily chosen and ultimately meaningless in the vein of Mass Effect 3. I want them to all make sense and be evocative
Just
in their own way.
Just don't let the locals' private chats leak. They'll crucify you in the media.
I mean, there's no private chats in the locals, so yeah. Just don't leak private communications.
Yeah.
That's just
never leak private communications, and don't be fed posting.
Yeah. If body positive Larry doesn't at least get a cameo, we riot. I don't want him in this game.
I don't want him in this game.
What if the game is fucking terrible?
Yeah,
exactly.
20 years ago.
The Mind's Eye Theater Live rulebook has a great way to bring the old lore into the 21st century. It's everything V5 should have been, but V5 failed so hard that I need a native speaker to find the words.
Interesting.
Mind's Eye Theater Live.
They're the LARP people.
Yeah, but I mean, is there a Mind's Eye Theater version of V5 right now?
There is.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I don't have it because I don't do LARP, but it might be. Maybe it's worth tracking down. For the ideas.
I don't think V5 is a failure though. It's certainly got some.
It has some big limitations. It has
big limitations, bad aspects to it. It, like we have said many times, it is a mixed bag. There is some very good stuff in it. Just glad Shadow City exists. OSR-tastic Vampire Gaming. IME RPG in a video game generally just means stat ability points you get to assign as you wish. Yeah.
Well, you'll get to choose disciplines and you get experience.
Wasn't there a VTM Battle Royale?
There was.
And it looked like shit.
Yeah.
A walking simulator based on some legit IP. Such a joke. Well, I think this company is known for making walking simulators.
That is true.
Yeah. I'm super looking forward to getting my hands on that. Might be a Christmas present to myself this year.
Shadow City. Yes.
I'm aware in this particular case, I think the criticism comes from people getting the impression that this VTM game has no real meaningful choice in its writing. I don't know how people have that impression. They have not shown anything past the first 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think
that might be the case. Who knows? But
I think the real problem with regard to the marketing is they have not really teased the main thrust of the story of the game. It's just
which I
you
think
are a vampire.
Can't. It's a mystery, and so
that's true. But you could at least hone in. You're an elder waking up after however long you've been asleep. Someone's got you against the ropes. You're not as powerful. You're trying to track you. You could lean in a more focused and excitable and engaging way. That really hasn't been the tack that they've taken. It's just you are a vampire in Seattle. Okay, and there's a quirky steampunk detective in your head for some reason. It's
going to be terrible.
That character will be terrible. That is a confident prediction right there. That character is going to fucking suck.
Which is, of course, why he's going to be in it so much.
Yeah.
They stop development, but they keep the servers up and sometimes update for anti-cheat. The cheaters were a real problem at some point.
Oh, the Battle Royale game.
Fun. So you guys are going to buy and play the game? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't like video games. There are some I love, but they are more like exceptions than the rule. I kind of agree. Most games, I think, are fucking trash. I don't have the patience for most of them anymore.
Most games are shit.
Like
but also most movies are shit now.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't say I don't like movies though.
But this is I posted about this, and we've been talking about this a lot because I like the only game that's really captured my attention in the last I don't know how long, 10 years, has been Baldur's Gate 3. I really enjoyed Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. I played through the Witcher games. I liked those. And before that, contemporary of The Witcher 1, because it was in 2007. I got them both that year. Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. I'm not interested in playing the sequel to that, but I just started playing BioShock for the first time. The first one.
Right.
And it's so much better than modern games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the animations aren't as good as the new games or whatever, but that game has so much atmosphere, and the gameplay, though simple, is fun.
MO, a good example on your Alpha Protocol. You go to the same places every playthrough, but you can tackle them however you see fit.
Yeah, I started playing Alpha Protocol through that. It was not Stadia. It was the original OnLive. You know, I subscribed to OnLive because at the time I could not afford a computer that had a graphics card because I was in college or right at the end of college or just out of college or something. And that game was pretty cool, but I never got very far. OnLive was shit. Agreed that we don't know about it until the game comes out.
Yep.
Haven't really kept up with the game's development. I'm pretty well over legacy sequels. Yeah, but this does look different, so it might be... I can't imagine the game will be less fun in terms of the gameplay part of it, the combat and stuff, than Bloodlines 1. But to Mr. Max's point, I do think that video games have legitimately gotten worse. It's not simply that we're looking back with nostalgia glasses.
No.
Like, I was playing through BioShock and I was like, this is legitimately fucking
It's
great.
way better.
Like, this is fun. There's a very cool world to explore, and it's not some massive open world thing. It's relatively constrained maps that have lots of pathways and different things going on. Very cool characters. The writing is actually much smarter than I anticipated. Like, I went into this thinking that I was going to have a hot take on this game, and I do have a hot take on this game, but my hot take is different than the one that I thought I was going to have because I was like, this is actually much smarter than I was giving it credit for. Who's fucking making games like that anymore? Like,
well, I mean, this is the point we've been making about everything else: movies, TV shows, video games. There has been a real material decrease in quality, in substance, in all the factors that matter to you. It has gotten worse.
Legitimately
you playing
worse.
BioShock is telling, because I would not put BioShock in my top 10 best games of all time.
No.
It's a very good game.
It's a very good game.
I really enjoyed playing BioShock. But even a game that's not one of the best is so much better than anything we've gotten in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. What's wrong with male power fantasy? The male part, apparently. Yeah. That is.
And the part where you have power.
Yeah. Yeah, the male, the power, and the fantasy.
Yeah.
Probably if I hear good things about the parts I like.
Yeah. And Bloodlines 2, I believe, comes out on Tuesday, which is why we're talking about this today.
Yeah, we're talking about it today because this is our last chance to make predictions. Yes. When it started over twice. I think just once, Bloodlines 2.
At least once. It's possible twice. Yeah. I don't know.
How's it going, Marky?
What's up?
Second time it was canned because a writer was accused of rape and he had to work in almost every story.
Damn.
Didn't know that. At this point, I'll pass on the game completely. Yeah. That's fine. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I'm interested to play it basically just out of a sense of curiosity at this point. Like, I'm not like, oh, yeah, I'm so excited for Bloodlines 2. That's not it. I'm just like, I want to know what's in it. I want to know how this plays. What are they doing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. My wife tells me I have multiple endings as well. Fun fact about Bloodlines 2, I watched the old footage where the Master Chief is still a Thin Blood, not an Elder. The NPC's main character. NPCs show more respect towards the Thin Blood than they do towards the Elder we see in the promos.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah. Once the game's been out for a while, I imagine you'll get more YouTube videos and interviews with people where we learn more about the full extent. What really was the story going to be initially versus what we ended up getting?
Right.
Was that better? Is it worse? Impossible to know right now.
Yeah. AAA don't really have people that are both talented and passionate. Those people are in the indies now. Yeah. What's worse, Bloodlines 2 or the VTM TV show?
I never saw the TV show.
I watched the whole thing.
Kindred the Embrace.
Yeah, it's definitely not great, but there were some good elements to it. The 2019 trailer looks leagues and bounds more soulful and enjoyable than the upcoming release. I don't know. I mean, you saw a very small constructed piece of that.
Yeah, they were just environments from what I remember.
Yeah, there was a little bit of first-person combat in it. I saw one dialogue sequence where the guy was talking to some Nosferatu that looked kind of like Killer Croc. I don't know, dude. It maybe, but at the same time, we'll never know. And I don't know. I remember seeing some of those when they made a trailer where there's like the
I wasn't excited for it before
or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh,
I was like, oh shit, this is going to be so bad. I remember thinking it was going to be bad in that version before we ever saw any of this version. A sex pest in the gaming industry? Surely you jest. Yeah. The choice that has existed since Ultima. I expect video game choices to be somewhat linear, so yeah, it's very much Quantum Ogre territory. It's like Cyberpunk was just the Quantum Ogre the entire time.
Right.
There was no meaningful choice in that game. Did she manage to unlock the good one? Yeah. Why I haven't played a AAA in years. Indies are greater than all. She's a completionist. Nice. The game is bad, but the show took place during the day and somehow showed vamps in daylight while some died from the daylight. Yeah, it was. It had problems.
Can you believe it?
Quick question: what about the solo campaign you guys were doing? That will return.
Yes,
we're spending a lot of time writing Bloodborne. That'll
come soon.
That will come soon. Yeah. The one in Acts 2. Yeah. Creed is, I knocked up a groupie. Now I have to write a song. Yeah. Legs wide open. Damsel, don't you mean the Carthian chick from VTR?
Is that not her name? I thought that was her name. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I hated her, though.
The only Creed I know
that
is
whole
Creedence
Anarch
Clearrider.
crew sucked in Bloodlines 1.
That's because the Anarchs suck.
The Anarchs suck.
There are no good Anarch characters.
What was the main guy's name?
Because
Was
the
it
Anarchs
Angel?
are fucking dumb.
Angel Rodriguez? It was something like that.
The Anarchs are such a dumb fucking faction. We have a good video on this that everyone
should watch.
Yeah, should watch. And
if you've watched it, should watch it again.
Watch it again, yeah. And people freaked out about that one. The Anarchs are woke. You guys just hate Anarchs because they're woke. Oh, you're anti-woke BS. That was not what the video was about at all. It was a fucking ink blot Rorschach test.
Every time.
The sheriff gives some old VTM vibes with his crusade against Thin Bloods, and he's very obviously seen as at least not a good character.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it will. It will be interesting to see what, if anything, is sort of carried over, because I was actually making this point to you before we started. It's not the V5 assumption that Thin Bloods are necessarily a bad thing in the way that they were.
Yeah, they're not a sign of the
not,
apocalypse.
Yeah, and a sign of the Camarilla lie, right? About the final night. So why
Did the Dazzlebeef work on this game at one point?
No.
I remember it coming up when the Jitter riots over Incarna broke out.
No.
That was the MMO.
That was the MMO, the World of Darkness MMO. They were working on that. And then they sold the property to Paradox after that. Because that game got fucking canceled.
Yeah. And for the best, I'm sure.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the Underworld film series in comparison to VTM? I think those movies are shit. I think Kate Beckinsale is
hot.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. I don't remember.
The first one was okay, but it's still.
I don't even remember the second one. And I don't know if I saw the third one.
Everyone's named Corvinus and Craven. But
I kind of want that for like that kind of a movie.
Yeah, but I wanted a good VTM movie.
Well, it definitely wasn't that.
Yeah.
But you should know that by the trailer where she's in like patent leather.
I mean for that I'm not knocking Kate Beckinsale in that leather suit. I would never
do that.
But I guess we can start actually giving our takes. Nick, what are your final predictions?
Yeah. So we have a number of these. I think we mentioned it before. I think V5 is going to be a mixed bag. It's going to be fairly aimless with regard to vision. I think that the game is going to feel very much like a cross between Dishonored and BioShock. I think those are going to be the main gameplay touchstones. I suspect it's going to be like competent gameplay, competent combat. I think it's going to get repetitive really, really fast from that demo, that 30-minute demo we saw. Unless I can just I'm going to want to spam an auto kill button. That's what I'm going to want to do. I don't remember what disciplines each of the clans get in the game, but I'm going to find one that's just going to help me get through the combat.
Yeah,
it's just not going to be fun.
That's why I love the Tremere, because I could just boil blood.
There you go.
That was awesome.
I think the Ventru can do what I do when I play Cyberpunk. I just make everybody kill themselves. It's very, very satisfying.
Yeah.
I think that the big M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah.
Why are you an elder who's been depowered, has a weird mark on his or her hand, has a Malkavian, doesn't know how they got to Seattle. I My prediction is going to be that you are the wheels within wheels Manchurian candidate of the former prince, the Dimitrescu. What is she, a Toreador?
Yes.
That
She's
chick.
fat.
She's fat. That chick. The whole idea when that character was first introduced as the former prince, like, okay, fuck off, dude.
Yeah, she stepped away.
That's not a thing.
That's not what a vampire would fucking do.
My guess is that she abdicated, made some show of supplication before the game starts to, like, ferret out her enemies.
Yeah.
And when they were in their positions of power, they showed their hand.
Allow
I'm going to use
them
my...
to feel secure in their position.
Yeah. And then I'm going to use my, you know, my psychobot elder to kill everyone
that I've carved this magic symbol into. So I have control of you.
Yes. And I'm also going to predict that after you learn about this, or shortly before you learn about this in the game, there's going to be some sort of thaumaturgical kill switch that is put off in your head that you need to stop.
Yeah.
Or she's going to have a Bioshock would you kindly type thing to really control you, to prevent you from ousting her.
Yeah.
When she does her double cross, her triple cross, whatever the hell it is.
Right.
That's what I think is going to be the in-game justification for who you are and why you're in this situation.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I think, well, you had this we both had this prediction. Fabian, I think, is the guy who was investigating, poking his nose around this chick's plans.
Yeah.
10, 15, however many years ago, whenever it is he got taken off the board.
But he knows the year when you get out.
That's
Welcome
true.
to 2024.
Yeah, so he must have...
It's a recent thing.
It's a recent thing.
Yeah.
So he laid the groundwork you're gonna continue his case.
Yeah, you're gonna
take down this chick.
Yeah, his case, which is to find you and to either probably stop you or to make sure that you can't be the tool of this bitch.
And
if
you Diablerized him before the game starts.
Yeah, and if it's not the former prince who's orchestrating all of this, that aspect of it doesn't matter. That's just based on the slight amount of information that we have. That's the most likely candidate.
Right.
If it's someone else, who cares? That will be the twist.
That'll be the thing.
The twist. Now, we went back and forth on this. You have a Malkavian in your head. Mm-hmm. What's the dumbest way that this could happen?
Yeah, what's the stupidest thing they could possibly do?
The stupidest thing they could do, which I don't think
it's going to happen, but I would not put it past them. I would not put it
past them, is that there was no Fabian at all. Or you are Fabian.
It's all you're
just a Malkavian. There was
it's
no
a split
Diablerie.
Personality
it's
thing
just
all the way down.
Yeah, just a split personality. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. And if they do that,
that's retarded.
That's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
That's really fucking dumb. Now, the other way, the next least likely scenario is that you are Fabian, and Fabian Diablerized
the elder somehow.
And the elder is just in control now.
Well, that could be the case.
That could be the case, except that people would recognize you as Fabian.
Exactly.
If Fabian was walking around.
Yeah, so that
the
would be
most likely
very
situation, and I think they've shown it happen in the trailers already. Because you can see fire jump out of the steel case at someone in.
I think that's Fabian.
I think that's Fabian. Fabian poked his nose in, woke you up, and
that's going to be the final
Diablerized
moments of one of the flashback missions where you put it all together.
Right. And then Fabian's going to be like, oh my God, you cannibalized me and ate my soul. How can I trust you? Now I'm in your head forever. That's what it's going to be. Those are the explanations.
Yep.
The other thing we were thinking, like, is there any other stupid fucking magic way that they could throw this in, like throw in this other personality? Because the other thing is that it looks. Here was my other thought about why you could just be a Malkavian the whole time, and the reason you don't have all your power is because you're insane and you're growing in power in all these other ways. And once you realize, oh, I'm crazy, now I know who I am, you have access to all your cool Malkavian powers. And really, you were a Malkavian the whole time, which would be dumb as fuck. That would be dumb as hell. It would be dumb as fuck, which is why I don't put it past them. I think that the gameplay is, like you said, probably going to get repetitive. It looks like the movement is very fluid and very cool. Everyone who's played it has said that you really feel like a powerful vampire. And this is why we've been talking about this. What is this game going to be like? Because the aesthetic, all the neon fuchsia, it's very V5. Like this screams Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Yeah,
I do like that stuff.
Right.
The neon in the snowy night, night sky. I do like that. I think that's cool.
And we were kind of thinking, like, Bloodlines 1 was, if you've never been able to play the tabletop game, but you've played Bloodlines 1, you've had a better Vampire the Masquerade game than most people will ever get. I think, and I won't know until we play the game, this might be the same case except for a V5 rendition.
Yeah.
But it looks as though the gameplay is going in the direction of what every fucking retard out there does with Vampire the Masquerade, which is to play superhero. You are the vampire superhero. You are leaping from building to building, floating around, blinking everywhere, beating people up. You've also got telekinesis somehow. Nobody knows what that's going to be about, which also got me thinking, ooh, Malkavians are insane. The mind is insane. What other mind powers are there? Telekinesis is related to the mind. Maybe that's why you're a Malkavian. I don't know.
I'm also going to predict that because they recently announced, or at least I was only aware of it yesterday, I think, that they're incorporating blood resonance into the video game. They want that to be a thing. I think it's ultimately not going to matter because I think it's going to be just a burden to get. It'll either be a burden or it will be so inconsequential as to be completely ignorable.
Right. And the blood resonance thing and feeding, you can watch how this works. There's 3 types of blood resonance, and by the outfits you wear, the dialogue options you have, and the supernatural abilities you use on people, you can like amp that up and get them to their max blood resonance and then kind of devour them. The Masquerade doesn't matter. It's a star rating from GTA.
It's a GTA star rating,
basically. And if you max it out
with even less stakes, because you're not going to have cars, helicopters,
it's just
chasing
that
after you.
You get the Scourge, which is a position in the Camarilla, shows up and stakes you from behind. Like they've shown this happen where his hand, it's like dying in Alien Isolation, where the alien, kills you somehow. And then you go back to your last save state, but you have less blood resonance.
Right. Who cares?
Who cares? That it won't fucking matter. You are just vampire superhero who can't always beat people up in public. Where it's not going to, it's probably going to evoke the feel of a V5 game and the sorts of V5 Quirk Chungus characters that people tend to make.
With Fabian being chief among them.
Chief Chungus, and the cool things about V5 that really do make it good, like the hunger dice, are not going to fucking matter because you are a superhero.
Right.
You're running around. You're already doing this messy criticals and bestial failures and everything. None of that's going to matter. It will have nothing to do with what the game is ostensibly about, which is any of the personal horror aspect of this.
Right.
And to be fair, for a video game, that's fine.
Yeah, you can't even include the hunger die thing in a way that works. At least I can't think of a way.
No,
to make that happen
in a video game and have that.
Yeah, so that in and of itself isn't a problem. It's the nature of it being a game, a video game.
It's a different medium, and you have different. It's just going to be different. And I'm fine with that. But I think this is going to be very emblematic of V5 itself, and it probably will be a mixed bag. And I really doubt that we're going to have any characters that are remotely memorable, like Fat Larry. Like we've said that before. And I think that there's going to be people who are going to spurg out and say that this is another terrible sequel where they didn't do anything that they did with the first one. And it's like, again, how could you have gameplay that was remotely similar to the first Bloodlines?
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old game.
The choices in that game were essentially inconsequential.
Yeah.
It mattered for which ending you got. But the point of that game was the atmosphere, the progression of the story, the characters, the dialogue, and this looks as though it has nailed the V5 aesthetic in the atmosphere. There's going to be the dialogue, the characters. It's going to be fairly linear, and people forget that Bloodlines 1 is pretty fucking linear.
Yes.
Like, there are levels. You have to go in sequence.
You can't go right to the fucking Zemisi. What was he, a bishop? I don't remember. But the Sabbat guy,
right.
From the beginning.
Exactly. You can't just go to the haunted house. It's not an open world. And you had to go do some backtracking, and there's, people give you fetch quests and all this shit.
That was all fine. That was all fine.
And you'll probably have some of that in this game as well. But people are going to say they ruined the legacy of Bloodlines and blah, 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 without being able to describe what Bloodlines was or what was good about it in the first place. I don't think any of that is going to matter. This is a game that I do think needs to be judged on its own. The first one came out 21 years ago.
Yeah.
So fuck off. That's not going to be... You can't do it.
I'll probably grab it since clan change and gameplay looks decent. Managed expectations. Magicka Stream 1. Looks based as fuck.
When
Ars
we get the
Magica
Ars
isn't out
Magica
yet.
book, yeah.
Or I don't have the book yet.
Yeah. When we have the book, you will read it, and then I'll look at it.
Yes, indeed.
And we will do it then. Yeah, but people need to manage their expectations. And I think that there's a lot of people spurging out about this not being an RPG. And I'm sure that whatever their definition of what an RPG is, Bloodlines 1 doesn't fit that definition either.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people who are ready to shit on this game for very stupid reasons.
Yeah.
And there may be legitimate reasons to shit on it when it comes out. We don't know.
Positive that there will be, but I think the general consensus of this game, it's going to be panned pretty universally. I think I actually predict that we're going to have the most positive take about the game. That's my guess.
It might end up being really fun, though. Who knows? It might surprise people.
But that's my point, right? Yeah. I think we're going to give it a fairer shake.
Yes.
Than
we're going to give it a fair shake, and we have a much better perspective on the nature of vampire.
People are going to say one of two things, or both at the same time. What you said, it's totally different and a betrayal, whatever that means, of Bloodlines 1. Or it is every aspect of the game is aggressive, woke indoctrination.
Yeah.
Which I think there's going to be elements of that, but that doesn't strike me as the case, where this is just...
It's not really out of character for vampire.
Yeah. But I don't think that criticism is... That's not exactly what I'm seeing. There's elements, of course.
There's elements.
But you all know what I mean. So, but we will see. I do think there's going to be a fair amount of like gameplay bloat with regard to collectibles.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be
and
a
they give
thing.
you experience. We were watching.
They give you experience.
Look at a photograph on the wall. You got 10
I see
experience.
they have a codex.
Like, oh,
I think
God,
having
so people like to get everything to 100% everything, you're gonna have to go and look at every single object in the game. Fuck that. I don't care.
That's not good. I don't think that's going to be.
Oh, so here was another thing. The clan is not going to matter. It'll affect some
clan won't matter.
Yeah.
There will be
some gameplay variation for sure.
Sure, and there's going to be one or a handful of swappable dialogue lines or responses from NPCs.
Attitudes. Yeah.
Yes, depending upon what class you are.
But
most of this will be at the beginning.
Yeah, choosing Toreador is going to have zero effect on which ending you get.
Exactly.
It's going to be basically like Cyberpunk, which was extremely linear.
Which was,
but
for me, the most disappointing thing about Cyberpunk.
Right, was that the choices didn't matter in that game.
Yeah, or the choices as pertains to your life path.
Yeah, the life paths.
I wanted to join Arasaka.
I know, me too. There was so much potential there.
Yeah.
And the life paths were essentially meaningless aside from a couple of dialogue options.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be similar.
That's going to be the case with the clans. So people who are like, oh man, I wish they had this clan. It's just a gameplay thing. It's not going to have any bearing on the actual story outside of the Malkavian element.
Sure. I don't think they're going to have a heavy callback or continuity to Bloodlines 1.
Nope.
I do, however, think
I think there's going to be little pieces.
I am going to predict that. What is her name? Jeanette Vorman is going to show up. Briefly, she's not going to be a main lore character. I don't think they're going to be able to help themselves. That's the Bloodlines girl.
Well, we were also talking. There's also going to, that would be it'd be an incredible missed opportunity if they didn't bring her in. And since there's a Malkavian in your head, and she was a Malkavian,
that's true.
That would be great. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want to see Jeanette Vorman?
I mean,
again?
I do want to see her again.
Everybody wants.
I
to see her
don't want
again.
to see her sister.
Here's that. Yeah. But there's also they're gonna insert some fucking lore character in it. Like you had Beckett in Bloodlines 1. I'm sure you're gonna run into someone like Theo Bell or Beckett in fucking Bloodlines 2.
They better not put Theo Bell in there.
They probably
will. What a dog shit character.
Or Victoria Ash, that dumb
Victoria
bitch.
Ash.
Yeah.
I don't know that enough people know who she is.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Fuck her. It doesn't matter. Fuck the lore characters.
Yeah.
Fuck the lore characters.
Yeah. I was thinking initially that the game was going to be like Dishonored in that you had different.
You think they'll put Rudy in the game?
You think they'll put Rudy in the game?
I don't think that they will, and they better not. Even worse than Theo Bell.
Yeah.
I was thinking initially this is going to be like Dishonored, where you had different districts, different self-contained open world maps that would be unlocked. Mm-hmm. Some of them would be clearly to you locked off. It would be grayed out in your map. But we were watching another demo and it looks like maybe there is just one open world map apart from whatever missions
I think it's
you
going to be.
on.
I think it's going to be fairly constrained, and I am 100% okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
I am 100% fine with that. I don't need a fucking 1-to-1 recreation of Seattle. Mm-hmm. It does not benefit the game to have that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
there was some. I have a prediction that the AI is going to be absolute dog shit. And they showed this off as a feature in one of the videos, and
which is very funny.
So fucking funny. Like I showed Nick, he started laughing exactly like I did. But there's a sequence where they're talking about, yeah, if you violate the masquerade, the police, they're not just going to sit on their hands. They're gonna come after you and blah blah blah. They're like, but there is a trick to this. If someone attacks you in front of the cops, then the cops will go after them. Like, ooh, wow. And it's literally all that's happening is the person's like, from the first person perspective, they're moving backwards and there's someone throwing punches at them, trying to get them. They walk by a cop and the cop sees them throw a punch and just turns around and immediately shoots
I suspect telekinesis was done for technical reasons.
Oh my God, thank you, officer.
I'm so scared, officer.
Like that.
We missed.
I suspect telekinesis was done for technical reasons, so they didn't have to animate you holding a gun or anything like that. Probably, but also it's like you have a gravity gun. There's telekinesis or a gravity gun in every game since Half-Life 2.
Yeah. I might be misremembering this, but I thought that you had telekinesis and that glide power in the first iteration of the game when you were a Thin Blood, and the justification was this is Thin Blood alchemy. You're sort of fucking with the disciplines and gaining other, non-discipline effects as part of being a Thin Blood. I might not be correct about that, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they actually give an explanation for it, because there is no glide power. There's no glide discipline. These aren't strict disciplines in Vampire.
Saw it. I'm reinstalling Vampire and Bloodlines. I never played Vampire with a Y. Vampire.
Yeah. I never played it either. But you'll like Bloodlines.
Right. But I really think that the AI is going to be retarded. It was so funny watching the cop just summarily execute someone by shooting them in the back just for like a fist fight in public.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. Like it was so stupid. He's just like, look at this feature we have. And I was like, your feature is that your fucking AI is stupid as hell. Which
may make this game way more fun.
Yeah.
Because there have been some amazing moments of enjoyment from stupid or
cyberpunk bugs,
like gameable, exploitable, gaps in AI, in the AI.
The other, so V5's Protean can make you as light as a feather and let you glide or some shit. I forget, because the other powers being the animalized was always better. Yeah, so this was the other thing. You have like vampire senses. And
it's like heightened senses,
Fabian, and Fabian's like, whoa, seeing through your eyes, this is crazy. And I'm like, is this Auspex? Is this just that you're the Malkavian all along?
And presumably it wouldn't be if he doesn't know what this is. Because if I remember correctly,
I
thought I think Malkavians get Auspex in V5. Yeah. Well, I think
in V5, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
They had Auspex, Dementation, and I think Celerity, maybe, in old V. I don't remember. It's been too long since I've looked at the old Vampire books.
I think they still have it in V5. But
play Vampire. It's pretty nice. Okay. Hello, base department? Yeah. I don't really remember much. The Spanish flu was an infection started by a blood cult or something, trying to bring about some old pagan god.
Some lore
Auspex, Dementation, and Obfuscate. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see. I am looking forward to playing it. I will be playing it on Tuesday. When it comes out. This is making me... I have to really be no-lifing the last 3 seasons of Mad Men to finish it before I have to pay for it and before I
that AMC free trial is about to run out, and you've got 50 episodes to watch in 2 days.
What a great show. We will have to do a stream or a portion of the stream talking about Mad Men one of these days.
All right, let's see here.
What have we missed?
A whole lot. We've been gabbing for a while.
Yes.
So we were just scrolling up to a while back in the chat. We have no idea where we left off. I predict the Malkavian isn't really dead. It's too obvious, but they never showed the face of the guy who got Diablo-raised by fire. And the reason for the name Fire is the dumbest ever.
It's just the name of the poster,
It's
right?
the name of the poster.
The band poster.
It's to make it so...
It's a gender-neutral name.
Gender-neutral name. And they're concealing the big reveal of who the Wanderer...
The Nomad.
The Nomad is, who your character actually is. They want to tease that out because your character remembers who they are, apparently.
Okay.
She's a Ventru, made a child and groomed him to replace her. It's something she essentially boasts about in the preview.
This is the ex-prince?
Don't know. Big twist reveal will be your character is a Malkavian who believes they are an elder of another clan who is being haunted by a Malkavian
That
voice.
would be the most retarded option.
Yeah, it'd be very, very dumb. Before you make predictions, can you just research a little bit? That way it would be a hypothesis and not just a wild guess. No.
It sounds like something a nerd
would do.
I don't know how to read.
Welcome to 2024. So the game starts out right before the woke purge. Interesting. He's Diablo-ized in the intro tutorial. He's the corpse you wake up feeding from.
Well, in the opening that we saw, you feed from a security or a
guard.
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. In before the Malkavian in your head is the crazy Malk who lived and died in the Funhouse Mansion in VTM Bloodlines. Yeah.
He'd be more interesting.
It'd be more interesting if it was a fish
Just
Malk.
have an axe murderer.
Yeah. My experience is that solo play videos are not as energizing to the audience, but maybe I can figure out how to do it. You're not wrong. Wait, are we talking that trans protagonist? It looks like you have a male or a female body, and it's a gender-neutral name so that you can have...
I know, obviously, in the promos, they have them wear gay haircuts.
Yeah, I know. It's all side cuts. And,
yeah, I will not be doing that.
And at least the female character looks sort of androgynous. But what do you expect? It's Vampire 5th edition. Maybe the real Malkavian is sauerkraut toaster, oven wee woo, wee octopus danced. I have no fucking idea what that means. As far as I remember, we didn't really see it from Fabian's point of view, just as the omnipotent viewer, so it could still be a weird plot from Fabian.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a clip from a cutscene where you're playing as Fabian in one of the flashback missions.
He also goes, shit, you Diablo-ized me when you see the flashback, at least in the preview. Interesting.
Okay. I have not seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. Dumb as fuck, but I bet it will still be better than whatever they thought of. Yes, he says that, but if he's the one pulling the strings, that could be deception.
That would be even stupider if Fabian is the mastermind. He's like the Atlas in BioShock.
God. Yes,
I wanted to be Diablo.
I know, and this is what we've been saying is like the whole Manchurian Candidate master plan thing is, yes, you have done everything that I wanted you to do, which is always what happens in Vampire.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm a million billion steps ahead of you.
Yeah. Wheels within wheels, my friend.
Shut up.
But it's also, the plan is also something really fucking dumb. Like, hey, let's take this elder who's way more powerful than everyone, and I'm going to manipulate them.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You can at least get, you can be, there's a thematic justification, even if it's played out. If you're a neonate or a fledgling, right? You've been played.
I'm late and don't much about Vampire, but I'm going to nod along in uncritical agreement while working tomorrow.
We like that. Yeah, and you should. Mm-hmm. Because we will be correct. Most likely. I've played VTM 2E only once. Only one time I played any World of Darkness, and it was a LARP version at MarsCon 2010.
Oh, MarsCon. You were in the Tidewater region.
Your curse is really a superpower with some trivial drawbacks thing has really gotten old. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which for the purposes of a video game, I understand why that's okay.
I will say, though, the premise of being a thin blood starting the game as a powerless thin blood, like the original iteration of what the story was going to be, is much more engaging, way more simple and fitting than you start as an elder.
Yeah.
But there's a MacGuffin reason as to why you're
not
depowered.
powerful.
It's like, all right,
Yeah.
well, you're punishing me. You're
Yeah.
telling me I could be this powerful mastermind,
Right.
badass, but I'm not allowed to be.
But I have both hands tied behind my back.
It's like, okay.
Until I grind out enough experience.
And possibly never.
Yeah. Telekinesis, I kind of chalked up to movement. Yes, movement of the mind, as elders often just fuck around and have a couple dots of thaumaturgy. That's correct.
That's true.
That's true. I've never played VTM, but I think Malkavians sound the most interesting to me. They're a very interesting clan.
Very hard to do.
But played very poorly a lot of times. But it sounds like nobody plays them in a less than obnoxious way. Yes, 100%. Yeah. Blood Resonance was used in the BR. It was just to level up your base power. Come on, Biden.
He seems quite helpful to the person who literally ate him in his soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I feel he would be way more antagonistic, maybe like a Shadow and Wraith.
Yeah. You would think.
You would. They're definitely not going to bring in anything from Wraith.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but he's saying it would be more like a Shadow from Wraith.
Yeah.
In your head at that point.
Yeah, we'll see what they say the reason is.
Superheroes as an inspiration isn't necessarily a bad thing, so long as they're pulling from wink and nod stuff like The Boys or Shin Kamen Rider.
I mean, superheroes are their own thing. They're good when you're doing a superhero thing, but Vampire is not ultimately a superhero genre game.
So how do I get the message to the guys that the Mind's Eye Theater book I was talking about that's better than V5 is the old one from around 2014 and not the current V5 Laws of the Night? They should check it out.
Oh.
Interesting.
It's 2014. This would be
V20, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it may not even be. It's just presumably the second to last version of Mind's Eye Theater is. Well, it's probably cheap.
Would have been cool if they allowed you to pick a clan. If you picked a Malkavian, the voice in your head would be those you drink from. Sanguinary animism. Yeah, or like the stop sign could talk to you, and the TV.
The TV, yep.
Fabian Chief Quirkus Chungus, the Ayatollah of mediocre.
My full name.
Yeah. Will the vampire game suck? Potentially.
It might, but the jury is out. I'm not convinced that it will.
And I'm not condemning it before I play it. Vampires represent every kind of evil, so naturally wokeism is a part of that. They really raised the stake with this one. Yeah. Achievements were one of the worst things that ever happened to game design. Have dramatically more fun since I stopped giving a shit about them. I never gave a shit about them.
Fuck achievements.
Yeah. Tremere is a minor house in ours as Damphir mages. You can be one, but I forgot what it does. That's fucking
there's
cool.
House Tremere.
Yeah. Well, that's because Mark Reinhagen
worked on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life paths just change your initial outfit and a couple of starting skill packs. Yeah, exactly. Catching up. Diablerie is just advanced hickey. I feel like the telekinesis in that vampire sense is just background dots of disciplines that otherwise wouldn't have been picked up because shit like punching holes in people is cooler.
I mean, maybe, but that's lazy on the part of the game developers.
Yeah, but I mean, they're doing the same thing that every fucking game since Batman.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum, has or whatever the Arkham series has done, where you have your stealth vision.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting that the inspirations all seem to be from like quite a while ago. Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, BioShock, Dishonored. These are like
achievement unlocked
decade-old
crash
games.
to desktop.
Achievement unlocked. Crashed to desktop. That sucks. I'm super powered, but my powers are leashed and my hands tied behind my back. Vampire Miss Marvel. Yeah. The stop sign, my nemesis.
Yes.
The stop sign will sing you to sleep on your deathbed. I love your take on what the Anarchs should be, and it would be great to see a video from you on suggestions for how to play different clans, especially given a lot of the lolcopter mulks out there.
Yeah. We will do clan videos
at some point, yeah. One of my bros has to set up a stop sign in my hospital room while I'm dying, adding it to the will. Update on Axe episode 2. I need to roll out some results and then we'll work on that. But we have other things that we have to work on at the moment, which is Bloodmore. And getting that out the door.
That's right.
All right. We got about 10 minutes left.
You miss anything good?
Maybe.
Yeah, a fair amount.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff up here we missed. Alpha Protocol is criminally overlooked.
I will say, I'm going to be playing La Sombra. I think you said you're going to play Tremere.
Probably Tremere.
The La Sombra are my favorite clan, and you were not able to play them in Bloodlines 1.
That's true. However, the thing is, my playstyle will be very much more of a brouhaha because I just want to beat the fuck out of everything because I don't have the Nosferatu.
Yeah. It is irritating.
But I really liked the Tremere in Bloodlines 1, so I'll probably play Tremere. And if I can make people explode with blood magic, that would be really cool. Branching pathways and multiple storylines based on in your game choices are great. Very hard for modern game devs to pull off, yeah. Video games now are made for and by people with 2 brain cells. You have to second screen them while watching YouTube. I don't know what that means. The second screen them?
Like you're watching.
Like
YouTube,
you're watching and playing the game. Yeah. Similar with movies, they're made to be background noise to doom scrolling. Black Lodge Games, did you see the leaked gameplay of it? I've got a link if you'd like. I have not. I've seen the gameplay they've officially showed, but I have not seen the leaked gameplay.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any leaks.
So send that to us. Yes, made dramatically more difficult by everyone's insistence on everything being fully voice acted these days.
Yeah, it's a terrible trend.
Yeah.
It's gotta die.
It's so dumb. These people have made a bunch of other VTM games that aren't connected to Bloodlines. They could have just made this game, and one of those would be less egregious.
I don't think it would be less egregious, because whether you call it Bloodlines or not, this is the big VTM game, and people are going to want it to be a VTM game, which is exactly what Bloodlines 1 was. So I think whatever the reception is, positive or negative, is going to be would be justified regardless of the name.
Right. V5 wants you to play Thin Bloods, but the game itself made it so that even Anarchs don't like Thin Bloods, and Anarchs were allies for Thin Bloods in older editions. Another reason the Anarchs should be destroyed.
The Thin Blood Sabbat cults in the Sabbat book for V5 was very cool.
Yeah.
Some interesting ideas in the book on the Sabbat.
All right, that's pretty much
cool.
Let me see here. Oh, I got some new chants. I want to know if the party kills my character. You will find out when we get there. Yeah. What clan can you join for the Malk voice in your head to be an old Southern general?
Sadly, none of them, I don't think.
Doorknob question. If one signs up for the locals, do they get access to the backlog of the streams you put up on there? I've never used it. Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. You get to see the whole shebang. Alpha Protocol was hella buggy when I played it after release. You couldn't play Asimite either, nor Banu Hakim. Yeah.
Which was another point in Bloodlines 1's favor. Why would anybody want to do that?
Yeah, play a fucking Asimite. Clan Choice gave you a different voice pack from your Malkavian. That might be okay. Yeah. Whoop. That furry encounter was actually interesting to show the power difference. Oh yeah,
the werewolf
in the
encounter
first
in
game.
Bloodlines 1. That was cool as hell.
Yeah. Do werewolves wreck vampires?
They do.
Yes, very much so.
Bigly.
That nonsense claiming to be a sequel to one of the best liked VTM games. That's nonsense. Claiming to be a sequel to one of the best liked VTM games matters. No, it doesn't.
I don't think it does.
It really doesn't.
It's not going to be a sequel per se. At least I don't think so. They're not billing it. This is the continuation of
big
Vampires
vampire
of Los Angeles
RPG. Yeah, this is the big vampire RPG video game.
Yes.
We have to call it Bloodlines. This is a business.
Right.
Like, this is a business. They have to do that. And again, like we said, the gameplay in Bloodlines 1, you're all looking back with rose-tinted glasses because it's
the
dog
gameplay
shit.
sucked.
It's really bad. And there's nothing that they could do to make a game that would emulate that gameplay that anyone would like in the modern day. Everyone would think it was shit.
Right.
And I don't want the story to be continued. Do not dig up those characters. The story was
told already.
Yeah. Do not dig up those characters.
Yeah.
I have gone back and watched the first couple I missed, so still need to catch the one from yesterday. Yeah. Bum, bum. I would play Asimite just so I have an excuse to say ass. Nice. Incidentally, why do so much vampire media feature werewolves as antagonists? It's like no one has seen the old Monster Squad TV series. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I mean, they're two iconic types of monsters that come out at night.
Yeah.
Right. So let's have them be enemies.
Yeah. The first game let me celerity shotgun the face off of Californians. I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I think I've said my piece.
I've said my piece as well. We're gonna call it.
We will give our report once we have finished playing
the game. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd
we'll
like a game
see
with
how
just
much
vampires.
we were right about.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. We did not make the goal for the giveaway.
Damn.
Last two giveaway people, I will send your books out tomorrow and provide you with the tracking numbers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So your advice on turning TTRPGs from linear plots to soap operas has changed the way I DM. Sitting down to plan a session is incredibly fun and
nice,
rewarding.
Dude.
Nice. Very cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I am now turning off the stream. Good night.
Later, boys.